Oh my god. Really, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Kren's nude rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do it? Or how did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. That's why she drugs Nun Creed, then. Or that's why she wants to drug Nun Creed. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Investigate Nun Creed's drugstore. I would never have guessed that was what that was. Miss Fratelli? What are you doing out so late at night? You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. Alright. Some Nun Creeds. This'll be the first time we go inside it. What? You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. I was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down before the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about? I think...
Gus looked around nervously.
I think Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you could make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, heiress, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They're dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Harris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. This town is going to change whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of the future, or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Good night, heiress. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. Huh. It's getting late, children. Indeed it is. It's fine, we're just on our way somewhere. Solomon? What the hell are you doing here?
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nun Creed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life. Though we might not always have family to rely on, licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice. Well, whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I've always wondered why Mr. Nun Creed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Okay, enjoy your licorice. Well, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Oh. Wait a minute, is it to do with the telephone box? Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nun Creed? No.
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Kren's nude rug store. I mean, underground secrets. The password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
Oh. Alright, let's see
Luka
here.
cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Underground? Secrets. Sounds like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we...
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground.
Oh. Whoa.
The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
Oh, was it Nun-Creed? Because that suit's cracked. I knew it. You knew there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth. Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No. I definitely thought it. Luka, do you remember when I said how cool it'd be if the transdimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real? Well, at one point or another, you've said about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. There's the suit with a crack. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like an Uncreed and talks like an Uncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer, in a series of tubes. Pa always says, you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realise what he means until it's too late. Perennial Harvest main office. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Science stuff. Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't this where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would Perennial Harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is not starting to feel like something big. Ooh. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Those hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Is that sucking them in or blowing them out? Roller, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Or hide in a tube. Shit. 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 Awesome. You all need to come with me. Now. We're not going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground Secrets. I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. I don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nungreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walter? Yep. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this. That's a lie. It's true. I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Creed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luka, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people, but the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about that one thing though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, "Joseph, if a person says yes one time to shop a Valentine, they'll make sure they keep you on... They'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone."
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what he's doing.
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. Tried to keep you and Juniper out of this. But you forced my hand.
Luka began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
Color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man.
Nuncreed grabbed Luka by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now. She's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in the town square. The fountain, but why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
The sauce! She knows about the sauce? What the heck is the sauce? If she tries to destroy the sauce, it could catalyze and... Dear God, she's going to freeze us all! You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So... We're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. Hooey! You good? Yep. I love this town. Oh my, what on earth?
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth.
Ooh.
Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view.
Is that where it spits us out?
A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
It is. Ah. That was intense? Yeah. I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Any idea where we are? Somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. I didn't feel like we travelled that far. So where did it all go? He pissed himself. This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We gotta catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. So... Right. Blowing up the sauce here would freeze the other... Like, the replica town as well, I guess. Interesting. We're in Beacon Pines. This looks familiar, yeah. Maybe we can clear off the snow. No time, Nuncreed's getting away. No. None of them batting an eyelid or anything. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed on all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Rolo, stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by travelling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into a Beacon Pines citizen of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving. True.
As they rounded the corners of the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
Okay.
Upon closing the distance, Luka recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out.
Oh, with her gem.
She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Is that why there was ink? Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this whole town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luka, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luka. This is between me and Juniper.
Back held steadfast in awe. Luka approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You've got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt taught me everything. He trusted you and you betrayed that trust. Luka, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself.
So that might actually be our grandmother then.
Making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient that your way just happens to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Oh.
Amid a blur of emotions and memories, Luka's mind flooded with questions. The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
And in the stillness he began to weep or hum. Weep, I guess.
And in the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luka whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luka for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This'll all make sense soon, Luka. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness.
Oh, do we get to see what happens here, then?
She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
Kaboom! See, Joseph, I've learned one very important thing in life, or lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to...
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence.
Yeah, we all freeze. Oh. The end.
Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luka. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror, there was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant.
So it is his gran then,
That is
I guess.
where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene.
The end.
In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end.
Hey, she's gonna complain about the ice again.
Well, that was dire.
Oh,
On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from.
I kind of gathered, to be honest.
Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Easy! Fire and ice. Let's hum instead. He began to hum. Ah,
And in the stillness, he began to hum. After the death of his father, Luka had trouble sleeping. Each night, his mother would sit at the foot of his bed and hum a gentle melody. It was the only thing that could calm his mind. The only thing that, however briefly, could make it all seem okay. That melody pervaded every memory Luka had of his mother. Shivering in the raw snow, he began to hum it out loud.
I'm guessing this will get her to drop it. Not in the hole.
Gran lowered the torch, listening closely. As recognition slowly set in, her heart sank. Those countless nights of consolation, the incomparable loss they shared together. She let the torch fall to the snow and sizzle out. A few steps toward Luka was all she could bear before dropping to the snow herself. Through a flood of tears, she began to hum along, note for note. His head in astonishment. The last time he heard that melody was the last night he saw his mother.
How do you know? So sorry, my little buckaroo. Buckaroo? Is that his mother? The only people who call me that are my dad and your mother.
Luka blinked through blurry, watery eyes, trying to see more clearly.
What?
He could just make out the impression of a familiar face. He peered across the snowscape at the woman on her knees. Something about her was undeniably his mother, only smaller, older, changed.
How? Because of the goo? Mom? That's right, buckaroo. Aww.
Luka sprinted as fast as he could toward his mother. They held each other close, and the cold retreated from their bodies.
So it isn't his gran. Eleanor? I thought you were gone. You should have known I would never abandon my
Eleanor
son.
looked down at Luka, tightening her embrace in an appeal for forgiveness.
How? You're a smart man, Joseph. I thought you'd have pieced it together by now. You were exposed. I don't understand any of this. What happened to you? Where did you go? Why did you leave me? I never left you. I was always right here, Luka. Why did you lie to me? It tore me up, Luka, but I didn't. I did it to keep you safe. I thought that getting answers would help us both move on. But the more I discovered, the more I realized the danger we were in. Until perennial harvest was stopped, it was better if everyone thought I was gone. You could have trusted me. These are bad people, Luka. They won't stop until they get what they want. And they don't care who gets hurt in the process. Then what do? We have to stop them.
Joseph slumped into the cold, wet snow.
It can't be stopped. This is too big. I tried beating them at their own game. I'm done fighting fire with fire.
For the first time in a long time, her voice felt like her own again.
No more lies. I see now, there's a better way to stop perennial harvest. The cold, hard truth.
Luka gazed down at Nuncreed with pity. He looked small. Joseph stared into the snow, as if searching it for answers.
Come on everyone, we've got a party to crash. Oh. Why is she old? That's what I don't get. The only thing I can kind of assume is that she was exposed to the goo, and it rapidly aged her, or something. But that can't be the case, because if that were so, then she would have mutated like Iggy did. You don't understand. He always wins. Hoodoo.
Chapter 9. The Devil You Know. 7 months ago.
I thought 7 months later.
Eleanor Van Horn crept down the maze of sterile hallways under perennial harvest. She stopped in front of the large steel door marked Deep Engineering.
We're gonna find out what happened to Eleanor
turning
then.
back now. She raised a trembling hand. The stolen keycard worked as promised, and the door buzzed open with mechanical efficiency. She was immediately hit with the smell of disinfectant. It was some sort of laboratory. In one corner was a desk covered in papers. Across the room stood a tall metal pod with hoses protruding from its base. She rushed to the desk and began shifting through the piles of papers. They were experiment reports on something called Tempus liquamen. There were dozens of them, every one stamped failed. Eleanor heard the sharp echo of footsteps approaching. She was out of time. Her eyes scanned the room, eventually landing on the strange pod. Muttering a curse under her breath, she dashed over and dove inside.
What? Wait, what? 7 months ago? And this is what change is all about. Oh. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I'm tickled pink that we'll all be making that choice together. How great is that? This man is a liar. Excuse me? I will not. This town is a dangerous secret and perennial harvest only exists to keep it hidden. Nonsense. They picked up the whole damn town and moved it right under our noses. You're not making any sense, dear.
Mr. Kerr addressed the crowd with a sarcastic tone.
Imagine such a thing. It's absurd and just plain impossible. They promised they could fix the foul harvest. They told us they would clean this place up. We just had to leave town for a few days. But while they had us evacuated... Mrs. Hartford, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to... You're afraid of a lot of things, aren't you? You snivelling little worm. This is growing tiresome. A little help, please. Don't you all see? This festival is a sham. An excuse to have the whole town gather in one place. They're planning something awful. I don't know what, but these people are wicked. Don't listen to her. She has absolutely no proof. I am the proof. I'm Eleanor Van Horn.
Whispers filtered through the crowd.
Well, aren't you just sneaky as the dickens? We all knew Valentine's fertilizer was too good to be true. And now this whole town is paying the price. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry about this disruption. My associates will take this obviously disturbed woman somewhere comfortable, so that she can get the help she needs. Hey, it's Nuncreed. She's not the one who's disturbed. You two-timing clown. Oh. You all know there's something wrong with this town. It was just easy to look the other way. The truth is... Solomon. Huh? Wait, what? That's quite enough, Mr. Nuncreed.
Torment dragged on Joseph Nuncreed's face.
Yes, sir. Take them away. No, I want them to see this. Ah, they have a tempestuous Eleanor Van Horn. You've been quite the thorn in my side. Like a weed that's burrowed in where it doesn't belong. I must confess, you look dreadful.
He paused for a moment, plucking a piece of fuzz from his sweater and discarding it to the ground.
Consider yourself in rare company. You've managed to pull one over on me. It won't happen again. I knew you had some sort of plan to disrupt our little party, but alas, I expected something a bit more impressive than incoherent rambling. No matter, your failures are yours to bear. Mr. Kerr? Yes, sir. It's a shame it was cut short, but I thank you for that rousing oratory. I will take it from here. Yes, sir, of course, sir. You've done quality work for me, William. You can look forward to the recompense we agreed upon.
Kerr gave a bow of deference.
Founder, you are most gracious. Is that Sharper?
Gasps rippled through the crowd.
Thankfully, we can dispense with the formalities from here on out.
Solomon pulled a glass vial from his pocket.
Did he, de-age himself?
In one smooth motion, he downed its contents. A triumphant smile grew across Solomon's lips.
You can all call me Sharper Valentine.
His body and face began to contort and expand as he disappeared into a belching green mist.
Ooh. Ew.
A hushed horror gripped the crowd.
Hmm.
This is a story about